In this video, we're going to look at how we actually do the entity extraction and linking. We're going to use DBpedia Spotlight to do this. So here in this picture, we see an example of DBpedia Spotlight in action with the demo. So we have at the sentence there, Madonna and Lady Gaga met yesterday. Both of those are underlined, which means that DBpedia Spotlight is found at the link to which they go. So below that is the URL for the DBpedia Spotlight demo. And DBpedia Spotlight can be called directly from Python, which we see on the bottom left, the URL for that. Let's take a look. So here's DBpedia Spotlight. There's the link as listed in the slides, and I've typed in George Bush went to Chicago. Hit annotate, and we have Chicago here. And as you hover over it, you see dbpedia.org, resource Chicago. And as you hover over George Bush, you see dbpedia.org, resource George W. Bush. So what's interesting about this is George Bush could be either George Bush or his father or someone else completely, but it decides that it's George Bush, probably because he's the Bush who was most recently president. And then here is where we can actually query that pyspotlight from within Python. So here's a GitHub repository, pyspotlight. And if we go down, we see our installation, pip install pyspotlight. So let's take a look. We've done this already. We've already set it up. So we have our host here, which is just a demo host that they ran for us. Import Spotlight, and we've defined a function get annotation. So what we try to do is we do the try annotation spotlight.annotate host with the text that's passed in, and it throws an exception if no annotations are found, in which case we want to return none. Otherwise, we want to return the list of annotations that are found. Run that. Okay, so here we have our same sentence. George Bush went to Chicago. Okay, so we have a bunch of gobbledygook here. The second one, this begins the second one here, similarity score of 0.99. So for the Chicago, it's pretty certain. And the second most likely percentage of second rank is very low. So the second most likely option for that is really low. But if you look at George Bush, where we noticed before that it could be him or his father, but it decided it was the son, similarity score is lower, 0.86. And then the percentage of second rank is much higher, 0.15, where percentage of second rank is how relatively important is the second most likely option. And we know that must be his father. Let's define another function that kind of gets through some of this gobbledygook so we can just see the URI. So here the URI. We just want to get that out. We just get the annotations, and then for each annotation, we just pull out the URI. And now let's run this again. Now we just have George W. Bush and Chicago. So this is just a demo server, this server here. You can actually run your own server, and those instructions are listed here. So what we've seen in this video is how to actually do the extraction, and we use pyspotlight.